provided with ServiceNow and Jira. I put all the flavors because actually we have many different ways to integrate it, depending on the engine, but also depending on the kind of flow you want to have, the scenario, let's say. So first, I show you, this is actually like screenshots of a demo, how this approval flow is, how you see that from the self-service catalog. Because originally, I remember we were at the user guide. I think Finn is connected, so maybe he remembers. I think it was not the guide, not this year, but last year, when we presented the new self-service catalog. Someone said, "Okay, but normally if we use a service, an interface like that for business users to submit services, they need to go to an approval process. They cannot just submit a service like that." And so we thought about having the possibility to implement that. So the idea is that, the scenario, as you have a business user, you have a workload automation expert. So someone that has to approve the request to submit that service. So that would be, is that also your experience? I mean, if you have an interface like that, and services like that, would you need an approval flow? Okay. So let's see how we made it. This is an example of a demo. So this is the self-service catalog interface from the dynamic workflow console. And here is a user, let's say a business user, submitting a service that implements a process to request a new software. Okay, so it's a standard business process. The user wants to get a new software. So here we are, let's say, in this example, this user is requesting a new license for Camtasia. And this approval flow, this service is implemented obviously with a job stream. And this job stream will include a job that opens a ticket, in this case to Jira, and will not execute until this Jira ticket has been completed. So the user will submit, let's say, submits the new service request for a new software. So what happens is that this request through a job opens a ticket to Jira to request that the new license is created. Okay. So here we are in the Jira user interface, and we have opened a request for Camtasia. The ticket has been created. At that point, for this kind of jobs, the Jira and the ServiceNow integrations, you can define that in the service to be externally shown externally. So you will see that the service is waiting for approval. So the business user gets the status that it's waiting for the approval of the ticket. Okay. This is what you see in the monitoring view, and this is you see the two jobs that are part of the job stream. So you have running the job that is as created. This is a Jira job type, as you can see. So it has created the request for the new license. Okay, so it's waiting. I mean, it's executing, so the workflow is waiting for approval. And then you have another job that in this job stream that will notify the user of the new license when the ticket has been completed. Okay, so this is how this process has been implemented with 2 jobs. Or now on Jira, the ticket has been resolved, and this is the license number of the new software that was requested. So at that point, what happens is that the job goes in successful state, and also the successor is executed, and a notification is sent to the user with the new license number. Actually, if you take a look at the send notification job log, we see that it contains the license number that was into the Jira ticket, because you can that will be the output of the Jira job. You can have it as an output the new license number, and then you can pass it to the subsequent job as a parameter. So you can use you can provide the license number as a result of the service. And then obviously the service is completed successfully.
Once the job stream of the request is rejected,
we will go into, I think, in error state. So this is just an example. You can always, I mean, if this is a process that was implemented through Jira. But if, for example, you need to submit a job stream that does a number of things much more complicated, you can always define as the first job, for example, a job for ServiceNow. So the job will open a ticket to ServiceNow and ask for approval for the execution of the job stream. And the job stream will actually start only when the ticket is approved. So it's a simple way to implement a workflow with an approval flow. Questions? Now let's take a look of the integrations that are behind this, this interface. We introduced 2 new job types with Jira and ServiceNow. These are very commonly used tools, but that doesn't mean we can add more tools if we're requesting more customers. So we just started with these two new ones. Probably I don't need to talk to you about Jira. Everybody knows it. It's a platform that is used. We actually use it internally, as for our development process. I think many customers use it for service management, project management, and so on. And it allows you to manage a lot of different activities. But what are the actions that you can implement through the job type? 3 basic actions. You can create and update issues and tickets. And obviously, the status of the ticket influences the status of the job. So if it's executing, it means that the ticket is open, and it completes only when the ticket is completed, and it will go into error if the ticket is rejected. So the status of the job is monitoring the status of the ticket. And that was actually the point 2. The third point is to update fields of status. So you can do these 3 basic actions, but basically it's all you need. Now, ServiceNow, very similar. It's a platform for digital workflows management. very well known. They claim to provide even orchestration right now, but we know more that as a ticketing system, let's say ServiceNow.
Nigel's just raised his hand.
Please, Nigel, go ahead with your question.
Hi, sorry to interrupt again. Are you aware that we've been trying to use ServiceNow API, yeah, but we run our ServiceNow in the cloud, and AWS can't talk to ServiceNow in the cloud. I put a case in for this. Level 3 have come back saying, yeah, because we obviously need to go to a proxy server, and it doesn't allow this. Are you aware of that?
I'm not sure I got it. So
Yeah, they can't go directly out onto the internet. They have to go via a proxy.
okay.
But surely the proxy needs to be set up on the master. So are you using the event action?
Yeah, so we've done that. I've gone through a level 3. They're saying it can't be done because we use a proxy.
Okay.
So is this for the plugin, for the event plugin, or for the job type? Because
No, it's not for the job type. This will be for the event action.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have problems because you cannot.
So they currently can't use ServiceNow.
Oh,
but maybe they will be able to with the new job type.
Because that, yeah.
Because then they can use a workstation and then set the workstation up with the proxy details.
Correct. Yes. So perhaps the new job type can help you. The following slides are also talking about the event plugins, because we have both on ServiceNow and Jira. You can both add a job that opens the ticket and monitors it, or you can use it as a trigger for a rule. But if you cannot access the internet, probably the job type is easier.
Well, I mean, today you could still use it because you could use a REST API job and just call the REST API of ServiceNow. This just shortcuts it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So it should still be possible, but instead of using an event action, the ServiceNow event action, your event calls a job, and that job is a REST API job that sends it to ServiceNow.
So are you implementing this like opening a ticket if a job goes into a band or error state, something like that?
Well, currently we're trying to automate batch events to create ServiceNow tickets and something else as well. I'm not leading this project. It's somebody else who's told me about it. I wrote the case. Level went to level 1, level 2, level 3. 6 weeks after that, they said because we're using a proxy, that service won't work. So I'll be interested. I'll pick it up with Probal after or tomorrow, whatever, this API side, see if we can do it a different way. But level 3 have said we can't use a proxy.
Okay. The service now job type is very similar to the Jira one. Obviously, you, as a prerequisite, you need a ServiceNow instance and credentials to run the, to open the ticket. Then the functionalities is you can open create a task, monitor it, create and monitor it. That means it's combining the two in one job, and update a task. So these are all functions that you can choose for every job you define. And the advantage is the usual one, having a single point, entry point for all, multiple operations. In both slides, I also, here for Jira and here for ServiceNow, I also put a link to blogs that are published on the Workload Automation community that goes into many more details on these processes. The next point is just discussing what are the advantages of using these job types. So obviously you can have a centralized management, and this is easy to understand. You can have process automation because you can build workflows where you actually automate the creation of tickets and that their management, because you can update the status, you can implement any kind of process that requires that. It's easy to monitor and to trace because it's part of the standard execution like any other job. There are some customization that you can do. So the fields that are available from the job types, and you can customize them to meet your organizational needs. And then obviously the fact that if you implement a flow with a Jira ticket that is created, then you can pass data between those jobs and other jobs that are in the same flow. So you don't need to move the data from one point to another, but it's internal to the jobs. So data consistency is also an advantage.
Are there any plans? I mean, this is IWS talking to ServiceNow, for example. Are there any plans for blogs or anything like that to show customers how to go the other way? So from ServiceNow to IWS?
I think there are customers doing that using our REST APIs.
Yes, but actually have a blog that shows people how to do it. Because certainly one of the requests previously was, being able to report from ServiceNow on the performance of IWS. So to be able to query the database and say, these are all the job streams that ran on a particular day, and these are the ones that failed and didn't. All of that information is held within IWS, but they want to access it all through ServiceNow.
So what we can do is to perhaps show examples of how to do it using our REST APIs.
Yeah. So actually, from a ServiceNow point of view, have a blog for ServiceNow developers to say this is how you do it in IWS.
Okay, this is a good suggestion. I think the same goes also for Ansible. I received a request from a customer to do the same from Ansible. So just to use Ansible playbooks to invoke our the scheduler. So it's also something. Always our reply is always it's doable through our REST APIs, but perhaps showing some examples would be helpful. Yeah. Okay. Now let's see also event plugins and the alerts, because the integration with ServiceNow as a trigger, similar to the event plugin, is on distributed, has been implemented also on the. Let me show. So first of all, the Jira event plugin. So this is quite straightforward. You can create. Becomes an action. Obviously, the trigger can be, for example, a job ending in error or failing in general, and then based on that you can create a ticket, open an issue on Jira, and this is a very straightforward example of event triggering. Let's say you trigger the condition is job ending in error, and then you create as an action you create a ticket, and the same goes for ServiceNow. So it's very straightforward, but the same goes also for Z. So here this is repeating a little bit what we already said about ServiceNow as a platform, but what we implemented on Z is also a possibility to when an alert is generated on Z, to open a ticket as a consequence. And also there is a a quite deep customization that can be performed to get into the ticket data from the workload automation. So let's see how it works on zip. Obviously, it's different from we don't have event-driven workload automation in the distributed fashion. So we have already a mechanism, a very steady mechanism of alerts that can be used. In the old days, they were only used, maybe even now, they are used to create perhaps WTOs in the system log, and then you catch them with NetView, or these were the, let's say, the traditional mechanism to intercept alerts. Now you can also use the same alerts to send emails. That was implemented a little while ago, and now you can also open a ticket to ServiceNow. So what happens is that the trigger is used internally, issued in the controller, and triggers a request to the HTTP task. The one is also used to communicate with the authentic agents, let's say. And a post request is done to ServiceNow, and the ticket is opened. So let's see what. Okay, this is not has been. Oh, sorry. I need to first of all to put the plug in, because I'm running out of the.
Yeah, that's the most important plugin.
So for the ServiceNow, which ticket is it? Are these
Okay. So the first step is to use this integration is to add the certificate from ServiceNow to the system, to the system. So you can use either of the two ways that we have to provide certificates, either as with the RACF keyring or the USS keyring. Then after that, you need to do a few steps to get a token from ServiceNow that will allow the creation of the tickets. This token then must be specified in the controller parameters together with the instance of ServiceNow that you want to use, and the caller, that's an optional parameter that you can specify.
Does it work with ACF2?
Excuse me?
Does it work with ACF2? Is it just RACF?
Oh no, it's it can work with any. So also other systems. As a matter of fact, we are specifying here SAF, not specifically RACF. I'm using RACF because I've been in IBM for many years, but you can use other systems. So next, you can configure which kind of alert you want to use to open tickets. So in this case, for example, we are choosing the error triggers for job in error and the long duration. So you can customize that. And there is a DD statement that you must add to the controller JCL procedure with a file that I will show you in a moment, that where you can do a lot of customization on how these tickets can be opened. So basically you can define a filtering rule for the tickets that you want to be opened. You can specify the header and a specific text member with the information that you want to show. So in this file, each filter statement is a condition that where you can specify a number of filters, like just for create this filter just for operation ending error, for the specific naming convention of applications, for a specific job name or a naming convention, for error codes, workstation ID. So you have a number of criteria that you can use to filter these alerts. Then you can decide how the header should look like, and you can provide the ticket number. I mean, you can provide, a short description. And consider that here you can use variables. You can use, for example, the application name as a variable that is substituted when the ticket is open. And the same goes for you can use the error code and the workstation ID as filters. And then you can specify a text member, so another member of this data set that is in this code is called in this case pay error, that will be used for the contents of the ticket, the description, the long description of the ticket. And here you can use variables still. So here, for example, there are application ID, application of the owner authority group, input arrival time, job name, operation number, workstation name. So all this stuff will go into the description of the ticket. And this is then how it looks like when the ticket is open. You get a ticket with a name. The caller in this case has been used, WSC controller. You get all the information. Trigger is operation in error, and you get all the information about the operation ended in error. So basically, you can, if you are opening tickets as an action when a job ends in error, to trigger some operator or someone that has to fix it, you can use this internal mechanism rather than other more complicated ways to open the tickets. Any questions or comments?
What version is this working? In Z?
It's 10.1 with a certain level of PTF.
Okay. How intelligent can it be with the, can it take the job name, take the first character, the third character, and use that as a CI, and base that where the ticket goes in terms of the assignment group? How intelligent can you be in terms of the number? The way we work, we go to one of this.
You can filter, and you can use this information in the description. I don't think you can make choices on.
How does it work out the assignment group?
But that's done at the other end, isn't it? That's
But that depends on the. I mean, you can create a number of filters.
You have to take the CI. You have to
Yeah.
work out the CI.
Yeah.
The CI.
Mhm.
You've got to take. You could take job description, then your job name.
Yeah.
You take first and third character, and make that CI. And then CI gets decides where the ticket goes.
But you can use different, specify different filters, so individuate a list of jobs, for example, and associate them then to a specific group.
Yeah. You've got 10,000 jobs.
It's too complicated.
How important, how intelligent. It's good though. I mean, if it works, you could just depends how clever you can be with your like for example, what we have on the list, and you can do that for you with your code. You can go direct.
Okay, that's all.
you don't. Okay. I'll stop sharing.